Sat Sri Akal to everyone. In line with the 2 or 3 videos that I had already put out last year and one early this year regarding the crisis that the world is going through, especially what we are experiencing in Malaysia, I wish to record another video for you to disseminate. So, Perno Pravo, Dosto, Mitro, this is about the perception that the vaccinations are going to solve all our problems. Be very careful because that is as those of us who have gone for our vaccinations, we already know that at the briefing centers when you sign up, the declaration where you agree to be vaccinated already states that this is no guarantee that you will not get COVID. So it is very clear that there are other things that we need to do whilst we are being protected by the vaccine. I'm recording this video especially because in my own taman, as a matter of fact in my own street, family that was vaccinated, the entire family came down with COVID, and the family experienced loss of life, and which was very traumatic for many of us who live on this street. As you can imagine, losing your neighbor just like that. And these people were not, people just off the street. They are very, very high officials in the Malaysian government, very senior officers, and so that has led me to record this video for everyone. What I want to talk to you about today is immunity. Vaccination is not the final, is not the last line of defense. It's our own immunity that is going to protect us. The people who I spoke about who lost their lives, they were vaccinated, and that is probably half the reason they let their guard down, and they had, little celebrations in their homes during the raya time, after the raya time, and so. Vaccination, don't be lulled into believing that vaccination is going to solve this problem. Our own immunity is the final line of defense, and we all must now shift our focus from worrying about the vaccinations to worrying about our immunity. The doctors will tell you, I'm not a doctor, but the doctors have been telling us, and they are trying to educate us every time we go everywhere. Even after your vaccination, there'll be a briefing where the doctor will again alert us about this. But the tendency for us, we are all tending to gravitate towards vaccination. There's an obsession about vaccination and an obsession about when my date is going to come and when am I going to get vaccinated and all that. The ultimate and final line of defense is your own immunity. My immunity is my final line of defense, and that is what I need to be concerned about. So, talking about immunity is dependent on many factors. As I said, I'm not the specialist, but we hear enough and we are told enough that by now we have already acquired, and all of you know about this. It's just I'm just highlighting it so that we can bring it back into conversation and bring it into a common communication between us. So the immunity is, I'm going to use the word aliveness, our aliveness, because our immunity is dependent on many things, on our mental health, on our physical health, and our emotional health. Our emotional health. How are we feeling emotionally? And this is the time where a lot of us are in this emotional hole, if I might say. There seems to be like no tomorrow. There seems to be like no future. People who are struggling financially, whose businesses dependent on what they did daily, not on paychecks. People who and there must be thousands of us out there who dependent on our daily work. For our wages, for our resource, and all that has been affected. And all this is on people's mind. What are we going to put on the dinner table tonight? What are we going to put on the table tomorrow? And so on. So our immunity is affected by our emotional health. We must understand that it's not just the vitamin C's that we are pumping ourselves with. It's not just about getting out there and doing all that exercise. It's also about how we feel, our sense of well-being. So this is important to understand. Our sense of well-being, and as I've called it, the aliveness, our mission in life, our purpose in life. What are we about? Our future, our hopes, our passions. What has brought us up to this day, brought us here till today? How is this going to go forward? So this emotional well-being, you can call it emotion EQ and whatever else the terminologies that have been invented over the last few decades, but it is very, very important, and it is not only about ourselves. The main reason I'm talking to all of you, because most of you who will have access to these type of videos will be the younger people, young families, and working adults and so on. But it's our parents, who are not technology savvy, who don't have access to the technological terms and jargons and whatever else that are being dished around at this point in time. We have to look after our grandparents, we have to look after our elderly parents and who are elderly relatives and all. Make sure that they are emotionally healthy. And one of the things that I want to share with all of you is, as I said, I use the word aliveness. We have to guard our aliveness. Our aliveness is going to see us through, not the vaccinations. The vaccinations, as I already said, they do not guarantee. Okay, it's our aliveness, our hopes, our visions, our purpose, our self-worth, and this is what is going to see us through. And this is very, very important. And we have to help our adults, the seniors who are in our homes. And I'm hoping that this message you will convey. You will take the duty to convey to the adults in your home, in your responsibility, within your area of influence and circle of influence. You have to carry this message. And the most important thing that I want to tell them is they must get out of their homes. They must get out of their homes. They must get out in the morning when the sun is bright and shining, when the wind is in our face, when the sky is above us. Look up, look around, enjoy the trees, enjoy the flowers, hear the sights and sounds of life, hear the motorcycles, hear the cars, hear the people, whatever that you can. Get out of your home if you can. If you live in an area where there are places where people may be able to walk along, there may be footpaths, there may be a little park near your home. Go out there, wave to someone, say hello to someone, maintain your SOPs, but we need to get our elders and ourselves and our children out of our homes. If there is a tendency to be stuck in our homes for day after day after day after day, just because there's nothing happening outside. Yes, I am in an area which is very, very, now there's a clampdown. There's police checkpoints all around us, because I happen to be living in Stapa Gombak, this area which is now under the what you call intensive MCO, I would like to call it. And but I still go out. I still get out and walk, and get out into the sun. This sun is very important. Sun is life. Sun, the brightness, it lifts our energy, it lifts our soul, it lifts our aliveness. So getting out into the sun, get a chair out there, get your father, your grandfather, whoever it is, get them to sit. If you have a yard in front of your house, if you have a yard at the back of your house, sit there. Otherwise, find a solution. Whether you have a balcony that faces the sun, so we have to do this, and this is very, very important for us. We must get out of our homes. If we are stuck in our home just watching TV, and stuff like that, just sitting around moping, we are going to fall on our emotional health. We're going to start to fail in our emotional health. The hopelessness is going to set in. And this affects our immunity. So this affects our immunity. Aliveness is going to restore our immunity. So this aliveness is very important. I may call it, who knows, I might be the first person in the world to create an aliveness index, after the Prime Minister of Nepal created the happiness index about 10-15 years ago. Maybe there must be such a thing as an aliveness index. Maybe in Sikhi we can call it the Chardikala index, you know. So maybe these are terms which we might be able to create and contribute to the world, a Chardikala index, a scale of 1 to 10 or scale of 1 to 100. So this aliveness index is very important. We need to watch that. We need to watch each other and make sure that our aliveness index, I spoke about this last year as well. I recorded one of my videos, except I didn't use these words because at that time we thought, oh, this will all be over in a few months. We'll all be back in, in action soon enough. But this is not going to go away as soon as we think and as soon as we thought it might. So this is going to be hanging about for a while. This emotional index is important. Getting out of the house is important. Getting into the sun is important. Looking up at the sky is important. The clouds, feeling the wind, feeling the rain, looking at people, hearing the sights and sounds of life. These sights and sounds, the birds, the butterflies, the plants, the leaves, the raindrops, everything is going to add to our aliveness. So this is very, very important. Please share this with whoever that you can. And the second message that I want to give is for those of us who may be on the borderline at this moment in time, because this seems to be so far extended. I have no idea how our families are. I'm concerned with sick families. Because there are other people must take care of their own families, and well and good, they are all being attended to, but sick families is who we are immediately responsible for. That is our first responsibility, and I have no idea how we are getting on, but do keep an eye out. As I mentioned last year in my video, look around. Today we can't go to Gurdwara anymore. I've got a, my wife got a call from someone who was saying, how sad and unhappy they are. They can't go to Gurdwara. They haven't been to Gurdwara for months. This tells a story. This tells it's not about the Gurdwara, because you can still do your part at home. You can still pray at home. It's actually trying to tell you that we are missing each other. We are missing human company. We are missing our friends. We are missing the Sangat. We are missing being able to mingle and talk and laugh together. So that's what this means when people tell you, I'm missing Gurdwara. I really, wish I could, at least we could go to Gurdwara. So these are telltale signs that there is some kind of despair inside of us. We need to take care of this. So the second part that I wanted to come to was, if you need help, anybody needs help, please reach out to your local Gurdwara. You must do that. Now is not a time to consider, oh, I will lose face. I will lose face if I go and ask for help. No. The whole world is in distress. The whole country is in distress. You can worry about face later on. After this is all over, you will have plenty of time and opportunity to pay it forward. Whatever people helped you now, you can do it. You can pay it forward in future. But now, if you need any kind of help, and our community is well off enough to be able to support every individual in our community. We are. Don't worry. We are able to take care of our own. We are. We just need someone to communicate with us, to contact us and say, I need help. And do not be afraid to do that. It is a global problem. You are not the only person asking for help. In every community, there are many different people who are needing this help. It's a temporary help. It's a temporary help. It is beyond your circumstance. If it's beyond your circumstance, reach out. Gurdwaras are the best place. They have already started all this seva that they are already doing. They are putting people in touch with those who can help, and these matters are being attended to. If you need any help, you must reach out. We cannot afford any kind of tragedy. We cannot. Already the families are if your family is already under distress, and if you do something silly to create a bigger problem than that, it's not going to help at all. It's not going to help at all. So if you find yourself in any kind of circumstance where you believe that help could be useful to you, please reach out. Please reach out. Gurdwaras are your first place. They are neutral places. You can just go there and privately and mention, or you can give someone a call. They can do it anonymous, or they can, whichever way that they can be sensible about it. as I said, now is not the time to consider, oh, I will lose face or whatever. If I ask for help, I'll just go on. I'll just continue struggling, and that's not what we want. We want you to know that everybody is entitled to this help at this point in time. So these are the messages that I wanted to give to you. Please, everyone, keep a lookout for each other. Consider the points that I mentioned. Our immunity is the highest priority, not the vaccination. The vaccination is a luxury. Okay, your immunity, as I mentioned to you, those people who lost their lives in this area where I live, they had been vaccinated. So don't place all your faith only on vaccination. Although it's there, it's going to help us. It is there to help us. But as I said, this stuff is tricky. It is mutating. It is going places. We don't know where it will stop. At the end of the day, last line of defense is